This video is Shocker SFT and Shocker NXT bolt disassembly and regular maintenance. This is something you're going to have to learn and do pretty often, so it's good to have a good understanding of what's going on. What you're going to be doing is removing the bolt assembly from the body right there using a 3/16 Allen wrench to first unscrew the bolt guide from the back. If you have a Russian Legion or Nasty or hybrid bolt guide, then you won't need a tool to disassemble it. But if you're using the stock, then you're going to have to. So unscrew it, and once the thread's disengaged from the body, just pop it out. Now you're going to have to use a tool to push everything out the front of the body. The tool has to be non-metallic because the metallic would scratch the front of the bolt and you don't want that to happen. What I use is this piece of Delrin here. It's plastic. You can also use something wooden or anything else. Just stick it in the front of the body and gently push everything out. Now with an HE bolt, all three of the components, the bolt sleeve, the fire chamber, and the bolt, will come out the back. So once everything is removed from the body, you can pull the pieces out. The bolt will come out with the fire chamber. Let's set the shocker down. If you have a stock bolt, then the bolt will slide right out of the body and the fire chamber will still be inside. You'll have to use another tool to push out the fire chamber, but that's not for this video. The four parts of the bolt assembly are now here. This is the bolt guide, the bolt sleeve, and the fire chamber and bolt assembled, which is a HE bolt. If it's a stock bolt, they can slide right off, but HE bolt is stuck on. This is actually a new design's ULP, ultra low pressure bolt, which has cutouts in the fire chamber, but otherwise it's functionally the same as the Smart Parts HE bolt. For regular maintenance, all you need to do at this point is take paper towel or other cloth, wipe off everything. You can use a cloth, but I personally prefer to stick to something disposable. You can just throw it out. The bolt sleeve has 4 external O-rings that you want to clean, and then you also wish to clean the inside because there's a moving O-ring in there. Make sure there's no debris inside. The fire chamber and bolt, you won't be able to clean all of this because they're attached and they won't come apart, but you can clean the rear O-ring as shown, which is the most important O-ring on the bolt. You can clean the outside of the fire chamber if you want. It doesn't hurt to do that by doing this. Now, for regular maintenance, you will just, at this point, re-grease all the moving O-rings and put it back together, stick it back in the body, and you'll be done. But what I'm going to do involves rebuilding the bolt's moving O-rings, and that's a little bit more involved. But that's not something you have to do very often. Hopefully you actually never have to do it unless you use the gun a lot. If you do use the gun a lot, then it wouldn't hurt to do it every once in a while just to be preventative to problems. I'm going to rebuild the moving O-rings only. I'm not going to replace the external O-rings that don't move just because they don't often have to be removed. So to do this, you just take an O-ring pick, which is typically curved or bent at the end. I have a couple of them here. Stick it under the O-ring and use it to work the pieces off. The bolt guide has 2 moving O-rings in the front. That's all you have to worry about. The bolt sleeve has a moving O-ring on the inside, which may or may not be visible, probably not. For that, you're going to have to stick the O-ring pick inside the groove, pull it out. This isn't really something I can demonstrate without just, letting you go loose and do it. Just try it yourself. Make sure you have a bent dental pick before you do it, or else you won't be able to grab a hold of the O-ring. That's how you do it, though. Now the fire chamber has to be removed from the bolt at this point in order to access the internal O-rings. You can take off the rear bolt O-ring at this point, but there will still be one located right here, which keeps the fire chamber from coming off. So what you have to do is slide the fire chamber to the front and remove this front piece, which is just going to pop off. It's held on by an O-ring. So just grasp it as hard as you can and give it a pull. It'll come off, set it aside. Now you need to take an O-ring pick, move it under the O-ring so that it's down inside, then pull it up. Now what I do is use my finger to hold the O-ring down, and I remove the pick, move my other finger in and pull the O-ring out. It'll be hard to do because the O-ring is really stiff, but once you get it off, you just throw the O-ring out because you really can't reuse them. But now you can just remove the fire chamber, set them aside. I'm going to remove the fire chamber once again with this HE bolt here. Hopefully this will give an easier view than the last video. Slide your finger under there, other finger right there, and pull it around. Alright. On a regular HE fire chamber, it wouldn't hurt to move cloth inside and clean out the inside of the fire chamber because there'll be dirt and grease inside there, so make sure you do that. The fire chamber has one moving O-ring which is located in the back. To get it out, you have to use a bent dental pick. Just move it under the O-ring groove, pop it out. That's not hard to do. The fire chamber front has one O-ring on the inside that's moving. It also has one on the outside that's stationary, which doesn't hurt to replace every once in a while. Everything is stripped down to their non-moving O-rings. Well, I'm just going to rebuild it at this point.